Welcome to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. This is the July 5th, or we'll call it the July 4th edition. Why is it What's in My Drawers? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats. And that's what we start at. Now we're talking about golf club fittings, repairs, opinions. If it has to do with golf equipment, we'll talk about it on here. Now, again, happy 4th of July, guys and gals. Hopefully everybody is celebrating and celebrating safely and that we're enjoying everything. And to kind of start that off, I was able to go out golfing with my dad and we did this. Got the picture. How about that? Little USA Callaway, going on. Not too bad, right? So not too bad at all. And then I was able to get my dog to support McGolf a little bit. Looks kind of ugly, but he didn't seem to mind, so we're good to go there. Alrighty, so what we do here is we talk about the stuff that we got to work on, the stuff that we've got coming up, the videos that we're doing, and a load of other stuff. So number one, like and subscribe if you will. Okay, like and subscribe. I turned the thing on today, and we already had one dislike, and I hadn't even been on yet, so I'm not even sure where that comes from. However, I always just get one, so I'm not even sure. Follow us on the other social medias, like you see down here. Instagram, I've been doing quite a bit with lately with the reels. It's 15 seconds, 30 seconds of the builds that I've been doing, and you never know, you may very well see yours on there. Okay, so we like that one. So take care of a little bit more business. Apparently, you guys like these things, right? I got a gray one in here too. There we go. You guys like these, the divot tools, right? We got the sharpener on the end. We got the ball marker. I've been using a black one for the last couple of weeks and seems to be doing pretty good. But again, thank you guys for all the orders. It's keeping Mrs. McGolf busy. And then the other part is that we're seeing a lot of traction on are those McGolf towels. Now those are club gloves. All right, the club glove towels. This is stuff they use on the tour, and it doesn't have a hook. It has a hole in the middle, so it just hangs on one of your clubs. So you don't get anything that sticks in there. And it's a heavy-duty microfiber, and it cleans very, very well. And they throw in a little enticement thing where you get a little what they call a ball cleaning towel for free. All right, but it's the gray, black, there's a sundry different colors. But if you're interested, send Miss McGolf an email, mcgolfshop@roadrunner.com. And last but not least, as far as a little personal business, we got this one in the mail. Not bad, huh? You can even look at that. You can even see the reflection. So we took a picture of it yesterday. But we got the plaque in, so now we have to find a place to put it. We're talking about like right there and moving this guy over. We'll see. Okay. So let's talk about the golf first. Rocket Mortgage. Cam Davis, right? Minus 18, tied with Joaquin Niemann and Troy Merritt. And if I read this correctly, it's a three-way playoff tie, and Niemann bowed out after the first hole, and Merritt took him about 3 or 4 more holes, and then Cam just outlasted them all. So congratulations to Cam Davis. Good job for him. And as we scroll down, Will Zalatoris shot a +4 to end up even. So we had that one, not too bad. There's one more. The Volunteers of America Classic. That's LPGA. So Jin Young Ko was one better than Matilda Castrin, and then Gabby Lopez. So congratulations to all those guys for winning. Okay, so what did we do this week? Well, there's a lot went on. It was quite a busy week. So let's start with this. Set of Mizuno Pros, they're getting ready to, if they're not gone, they're getting ready to go. Not too bad. I think that they're still here. I believe that they are. They've got those grips on them. Not bad. I mean, it's a neat looking color. That's supposed to be a little bit of a red, but that's not a bad looking color. All right. And then we put these grips. Right. That's more of a buckeye kind of color, the scarlet and gray kind of thing. Using those shafts, the 60s, and I lost the heads where they went. Oh, maybe there they are. There we go. Went on some Wilson left-handed D9s. Turned out pretty good. I really like that set. Then we had a lot of Srixon this week. We did a lot of, actually the XZ5 and the 7. Both. You would have thought that the 4 would be one of the more popular ones, but the 5 and the 7 been very, very popular. And we had some Wilson D9 drivers, one for a lady doctor, and then a couple, a lefty fairway, and then another driver for another gentleman. So not too bad. And then we'll call it the strange build of the week. This might actually make it the strange build of the month. But, and we're going to talk about it. In fact, that's the video for Tuesday. So Tuesday at 7, we're going to be releasing the video on this build. These guys. And that B does not stand for Bridgestone. It stands for Bang. Bang Golf. And you only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's only half that set. Right? Half the set. An entire set, an entire bag of hybrids from the driver all the way down to the lob wedge. Yes, a 12-degree hybrid and a 61-degree lob wedge. And you have to see them. And then we put all these shafts in them. Tat, 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 tat. Right? And we put the old school wind, as you can see right there. The old school wind is on them. Did very, very well. Right? Very, very well indeed. All right. So more stuff. This guy wins the longest distance traveled for a fitting. This guy. That's Chart. And Chart is from South Africa. And one of the nicest guys you're going to want to meet. Very, very, I don't know how you even say it. Very well mannered. Just one heck of a gentleman. Quite the cricket player apparently, because he was in here with a little bit of. We went through our fitting for irons, and I kind of saw. I asked him if he played cricket, and sure enough, he did. And we saw kind of a release of what goes on in that. And I'm going to turn this just a little bit. There we go. And he turned it just a little bit. And once we started talking about it, and he started throwing it down the middle instead of wide right because of the cricket move. And this dude's launching a 6-iron. He's carrying 210. So, yeah, and it's just this smooth release of energy at the bottom kind of movement. So, honestly, expect really big things from him. So, it's a good thing. Good thing indeed. All righty. So, for my own little personal note, 2 rounds of golf on July 4th. Went with my dad, and we shot an 80. Yeah, we shot an 80, 240s. And again, this was one of the looks. And I'm standing on the tee box, and as you can see, it goes way out there, and then benders to the left before you see the green. Crown Hill. Place is in phenomenal shape. All the places here in southern Ohio are in phenomenal shape right now. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. Today got a low score, so Matt, if you're listening, I shot a 77. We did really go low, and shout out my sister and brother-in-law here, and they're right out there, right? They're right out there, and they're sitting out in the 90-degree heat. So if you like being a human pot roast like they do, then they'd like to help you. Here, look, I'll get them to wave here. Hold on. There's Mrs. McGolf right there behind there. There's my sister off to the right. My dad off to the left. So there we go. I'm telling you, we're going to have this is going to be a good one today, guys. Okay, so just to kind of forewarn you a little bit, we've been celebrating the 4th, and no scotch. These are called Blue Long Island iced teas, and they're very, very cold, and they're very, very good. So this show might get a little slippery at the end. Okay, so if you don't mind, I flew my drone over the place that we golfed at today, and it's JC's in Chillicothe, and that place has had an absolutely incredible change to the positive, and the place is just absolutely grown over with grass. I mean, it's just beautiful. 2 years ago maybe, it was desolate, and the guys over there are doing a bang-up job, an absolute bang-up job. So I wanted to throw this out here, so let me take 2 minutes out of your day so we can show you some of this. And I don't know how loud it's going to be, but it shouldn't be too bad. What you're seeing here, this is the first hole. Can't swing underneath of them, but they got plenty of it, and see how nice and clean these are. And here we go. There we go. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I didn't lose any of you for doing that. Alrighty, so we've gone through all that. Let's do some talking. All right.
Couldn't hear you. Sorry. Say sorry.
Couldn't hear me?
Couldn't hear you. Say sorry. But it was a beautiful picture, though.
Oh, did it make any noise?
Blah, 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 blah.
No, did it have any noise in the background?
Music.
Okay, well, that's it couldn't hear me. That's okay. Alrighty, so let's get started. Joey from Georgia. It's been a while. Really enjoyed the fitting, hybrid driver shaft, putter adjustment, all been great improvements. Thank you, Joey. Just to kind of keep you up so you know what's going on, you went from not even being on the list because of parts and whatnot to on the list. We've got stuff. You're number 2 or number 3. So hopefully we're cranking that stuff out, and you'll see some progress reports by week's end, and we should, in order to get you going. So we're happy to see something about that. All right. Danny, says, in your grip video you mentioned jumbo grips. Would those grips be good for guys with small hands? Is there a rule of thumb when it comes to the size of grips? Well, as a matter of fact, yes, there is. And the thing is, like everything in golf, it depends. Okay? So what you're going to see is a lot of guys go, hey, grab it with your back hand, and they're going to say, does the fingers here meet their palm? Right? Is there a little opening? Is there a little palm? And they would not be wrong. They just wouldn't be complete. Okay? Complete. You have to get that other hand on there, and then what you have to do is you have to make sure that those fingers are either touching that thumb or getting into that pad, depending on if you're a 10-finger golfer or not, right? So you just want them just barely touching or just slightly open. That is the correct size. Now, if you have some sort of medical issue, and arthritis being the most common one amongst golfers, that you can't grab down on the club, right? Then you need to get to something bigger where you can apply the same type of grip pressure, i.e. a bigger club or a bigger grip, right? Sometimes they go to jumbos, sometimes they go larger, sometimes they just need something that has a bit more texture so that you can feel it, so that you know that you're pressing down. There's different people, different strokes for different folks, right? And that's what it's all about. Now, can a jumbo grip, or the Jumbo Max, I think is probably where we're going with this, the Jumbo Max, I got to tell you, they are really breaking the mold as far as just what I saw you with the whole hand stuff. Their smallest grip is bigger than most people's jumbos. Everybody I've put them into, save a select few, have really, really enjoyed them. Okay, really, really enjoyed them. Again, Bob, I use Bob as an example. Bob, the guy I go golfing with, my buddy, the putter grip guy, we put some of those on his clubs, and his hands aren't nearly big enough, like to truly fit on something that large. And he absolutely kills it, absolutely loves them, and doesn't go anywhere else. So, yeah, so can it, I would try it. Now, is this for everybody? No, just like, again, it depends. What you really, really want to do is take one of those grips and just put one on a club that you're going to use frequently, and go out and play it, and just play it and see whether or not you really notice a difference. I did that once because of with the Align, when the Aligns came out, right? When the Aligns came out, I thought it would freak me out, and initially it did, until I put it on an 8-iron. I hit an 8-iron quite a bit. And I just pulled it out one day. It was about third, fourth shot into the round. Whew, and it dawned on me I didn't even think about it. And if you can get there that quick, you're doing pretty good. All right. David, how are you, sir? Hopefully you're doing well. Happy 4th of July yesterday. What did you get up to? What did you get up to? Well, we went golfing with my dad. And my sister and brother-in-law were here, and we cooked these mammoth steaks. All right, we call them plate covers over here. And the local deli, or local mom and pop grocery store, has a meat case and a deli, and they had these T-bone steaks that we got about that thick. And I'm here to tell you, it would cover a plate, and we bought one for each one of us. Well, not every one of us got through it all. Yeah, I got through it, but I paid the price. I'm still paying the price, but it was phenomenal. It was a very, very well done meal. Then we had some corn on the cob and traditional other, some strawberry stuff and that kind of thing. So it was really, really good. Hopefully you guys are doing good over there too. Getting some reading done, getting your test taken. And did you finish up your second level of Capto? That would be something to talk about. Mr. Charles, how are you, sir? Not the scotch today, but this is this is basically a Long Island iced tea without the Coke. Very, very tasty. Mr. Matt, how are you, sir? Shot a crisp 69 Friday. Dig. Loving the hybrid. Good. Good, 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 good. All right. Well, I'm not touching 69, but by golly, I'm getting close. Question, can you build a 38-inch putter out of any style? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, 38 inches just length. If it fits, it fits, right? It can be a blade. It can be a mallet. Now, if you're getting to, can it be an arm lock? No. Right? Arm locks create this really far forward press and require a bending and changing of a putter lofts and lies that sometimes can be pretty radical, and not every putter can do that. Some can, but not every one. So that's where you can take it. But yeah, we can make them all that way. It'll make them a little heavier. You probably need something a little bit longer in the grip to help out, but outside of that, sure. All right. Nick, same to you, sir. Ronald Greer's in. No ribs, buddy. No ribs. We did steaks. And right now, I should have taken a picture, but right now, sitting on my grill is a brisket. And it is ready to rock and roll. And I did do some burnt ends, and they're really good. My sister went and got some, but I haven't heard any thumbs up or anything from her, so whether or not they passed the test. If she likes them, then you know they got to be good. All righty, David. Building a fitting putter using a design like the old style adjustable ping except for the collar. Any suggestions what can you use to secure the grip sleeve in place of the right length? Oh, I get where you're going with this. I had one of those adjustable link things, but I don't know if it jammed up or not. So in the day, David, what they did is let's say if you have a grip. Oh, I got to show you some work I'm getting ready to do. So if you have the shaft and it was going over top of another shaft, what they did is they ovaled the top shaft. They ovaled it out. It's not a circle, it's an oval. So it would still slide in, and then what you would do is you'd crank it 90 degrees in order for it to stick at the right length. And I mean, it's not very techno savvy, but that's what you can get. Now, they do have these things, swage fittings that you could probably use, and it would be a collar that gets in between the two pieces, and then it tightens up, and then you put up another piece and tightens it up, but it means you need to thread. And I don't know if we want to get there. But you might just find an old beat-up ping on eBay that adjusts and just take it apart. That might be another one. Warm Sweden, huh? All right. It's got to be better than the alternative. All right. Congrats on the award, of course, when you... Thanks, Ronald. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about that. Every time I sit down to doing this. So to kind of give you an idea, I really, really, really do want to do that. And I actually have been working on outlines, and I've done some videos. And just to kind of give you an idea, because everything keeps pouring in all at once. In my time off, we started Friday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today I've thrown out 2.5 sets of clubs, not including all the drivers and all those things, each day in order to keep things going. So I do want to do it. I am going to do it. I just need the burn the candle at both ends kind of thing. But we'll get her done. All right. Little warm. 78 on a par 71. Works for me. Yes, that's great, buddy. Good way to go, Willard. Thank you. Played yesterday from T54 at 600 meters shorter than T60. Oh, okay. Scored a 69, 400 par, and today I played T60 and scored 12 over par in windy conditions. Hard to beat the wind with 8 clubs. Yeah. Windy conditions are tough because you actually have to trust yourself in knowing that that's what you're going to hit, right? The guys that have that in the bag are the folks Ireland, Scotland, UK. Man, they got that wind play down like no problem. And that's the real issue about that. So you just got, it took a while. I went over there and wind's blowing right, they said it was a 3-club wind. And what I didn't realize is that it could be a 3-club in any direction. Left, right, front, back, it just didn't matter. So you really, really had to pay attention. It was really kind of an eye-opening experience. Brendan, how are you, sir? Thank you for coming on from sunny Northern Ireland. That's very good to hear. Very good to hear indeed. And there's Tim in Cincinnati. Christopher, how are you, sir? Oh, look at that. Robin's eating the brisket. Uh-oh. I'm watching them. They're going back to the grill, so I must have done okay. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it's just the flat part. It wasn't the what they call the wet or the point, but it's good. It's a good cut. It's a very, very good piece. There's John. My golf peoples. There you go, dude. Well done, sir. Self-induced chaos. They are. Around here, you get what we call mountain golf because we're at the end of the Appalachia, and there's just ups and downs and sideways, and it's all good. JC's is actually kind of flat, very walkable. I do like that about it. Very walkable course. And par threes that are short, par threes that are long. There's a good long par 5 in the 500 plus category, and number 18 is a short. It's like a 310 par 4, but 80% of it is water. So you gotta carry it a ways. There's no missing and getting through it. So yeah, it's a good little challenge, a good little course. Jim, when having to build up several layers of build-up tape, how do you stop the mouth of the grip looking odd as it slopes and meets the shaft? I should stop the tape further. Should I stop the tape further from the end? Okay, David. So what we're talking about here is, we'll go back to the shaft again. So when we're putting tape on. All right, when we're putting tape on and you start putting lots and lots of layers on, what happens is the tape starts getting like this. And now that's a lot of layers. All right, that is a lot of layers in order to get like that. And what you may have is it may be closed at this end, at the narrow end, and then as it gets to the end, it opens wide open. And that's just a function of the tape. Now, if it gets really, really, really big, what I like doing, and I talked to it shortly in the last gripping video, is that when you put you put the tape on like this on one, like this on another, like this on one, like this on the other, so it doesn't get this. You don't get all these big crevices all in one spot, and it feels bad. So eventually, it will round out, and you're only talking about the width of the tape. But that's how I do it. And no, I wouldn't stop it any further. You want to make sure it's that right length every time, otherwise it looks like junk. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, that's what Robin came in and said you can't hear it, so we'll have to work on that. I don't know if that's something I can do or cannot do when I'm off to the side or not. Yukon living. I would imagine the courses up north are looking pretty good right about now as well. Nope, I went all the way to the bottom yet again. Here we go. John, he's throwing out some emojis at me. Rob Miles, course looks great. I can't hear you talking. Yeah, that's probably when you go to when I go to the side or something along that lines. I was telling you what that first part that you guys saw was the first hole, and it's really kind of a tough first hole in that there's a ledge about 2/3 of the way there. It's just right there in the middle of a. If you're on a good drive and you catch it, you're on this downward slope, and if you're not, you're on this slightly uphill slope, and then you're elevated, and it looks down. It's about 160-ish, right there, 170-ish, depending on where you're at, and because the course curves, and that's right there on the curve, and then you go to this elevated green, and it's small, right? It's very, very small, so it's a challenge right off the bat. Then you get paid off with a shorter par 5 that is just straight up the gut. It goes uphill and plateaus, and then it goes out, but it's straight up the gut, and it's actually kind of reachable in 2 if you really poke a good one on the first one. Okay. Yes, it was. I was the first guy there, other than the crew, other than the greenskeeping crew. They were there. They were there early, getting ready to hit it. I had gotten out there, started flying before they even hit it, but they were out there moving and shaking. I will be doing a full-on video. I've got 20 plus minutes of that stuff, and you'll see them out there. They're the only ones that are out there, by the way. And we got out there, took my dad yet again. We went out and got out, and I'm going to say just like 6:45, and we were done in 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is talking some seriously golf right there. I'd like to know how we can bottle that up and make that go around all the world. Man, oh man, would we be killing it by then? But yeah, it is. Gage, what's going on? It's fit into a KBS TD Cat 4. Very nice driver. It's back here, right there. And my driver have a 116 mile an hour speed. Does that seem right, or do you remember a Cat 5? Well, so Gage, it's a little different on how you get through it. Number one, the Cat 4 is what would be a stiff, to be sure, but it depends. There's 2 TDs out there, and one's a little bit more stiff than the other. Did I say that right? Pretty sure there's 2 out there. Nevertheless, this thing is a little more butt stiff, and it depends on what kind of swinger you are. You can have an over an average swing speed, but if you're smooth like an Ernie Els or something like that, a stiff will work just fine. And then just the opposite can be true. You can have a stiff swing speed, i.e., say 100 mile an hour, and 100 mile an hour, and just get after it like Nick Price does, Zorro with a golf club, right? And he certainly needs the X-Flex, sometimes even more. So it depends. Again, there's that depends, right? At 1.6, because 110 on average, mind you, 110 on average is the top end of what would be the X-Flex, at the X-Flex range. No, I'm sorry, the top end of the stiff range. I'm going to get it right here eventually. It's the top end of the stiff range. So you are cresting into the X-Flex range, but it just depends on how you get into it. Now, the other thing is, if you're fit into it, certainly you hit it. If you had some really, really good numbers and you were throwing it out there without losing one left or right really bad, because if that would tell you is if your dispersion is way out here, then yeah, that's not right. But if you're throwing them in and you're making a nice little pattern like that, then all day, man, all day. All right, so before I keep grabbing these clubs to show you what we've got going on, Mike has sent me a set of PXGs. This is the Sugar Daddy. I brought that in just because it said Sugar Daddy on the back. Anyway, apparently he's a fairly aggressive swinger, I guess, or he likes heavier clubs, and they for somehow he got into that. I don't know how that happened, and he wants them gone, and rightfully so. So what we're doing is See, Gage, you just led me right into a whole bunch of KBS stuff. So we're leaving the TGs, and you see this guy. It's basically a C-taper light in an X-Flex. And the C-taper lights and X-Flexes are going to run around in the high teens, low 20s, all right? Uncut. And he got the dark one. So these dark clubs are going to look basically like that, right? Just with different shafts in it, something that he can swing. He's very, very concerned about swing weight, so we'll have to really concentrate on that to be sure. Now, here's something I haven't seen, and I got to give a nod to PXG. I'm not a big fan, but style points, man, huge rank on style points. So again, PXG's got the weight in the back, weight in the front, and then weight in the bottom for basically helping you get it turned over. Then, of course, it's adjustable, right? And we've got it down to the flat. Check out this crown. There we go. Look at that crown. Almost looks like there's a piece of tweed right there. And what it does, it focuses you onto the ball where the little X is at. That's pretty cool. That's thinking ahead, man. That's really a good idea. I really like it. So we're going to cut them and we're going to grip them. And so this very well may turn into a boxes to builds. Have you ever tested Ben Hogan driver or fairway woods? Unfortunately, no, Nick, because they only came in right-handed. I was, in fact, when the old Ben Hogan became the new Ben Hogan, I knew the guy that ran it, and he just absolutely refused to make left-handed stuff. But I did watch guys hit it, and it was really funny to see this mountain of a guy. I bet he was 6'4", 6'5", and just looked like a linebacker, swinging a Ben Hogan golf club with a KBS TG, or with a KBS Tour 90 in it, a Tour 90, and just throwing it out there. Had no idea what he's hitting, but he was hitting it well. And if he would have known he was swinging a 90-gram shaft, he probably would have freaked. But he did. He hit it very, very well. All right, Yukon Living, what's up? Have you done any testing with the Acro putter shaft? No, I haven't. I don't get a lot of call for massive changes in that. Although I do believe in the idea. All right, the 100, the 200, 300, 400 are all good ideas. They very well are very good ideas, and it's akin to back weighting. Okay, where we've been back weighting since the late 90s. And a little bit of weight in the back slows this down and become better putters. Same thing could be said about the graphite. And I think it would also transmit a better feel, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'm down with that. Any advice for installation of fully corded grips? I find all rubber grips a breeze, but cords are so stiff and... Well, like anything else, David, number one, I still use the solvent. And Mr. McGolf likes the solvent, so we still use the solvent. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that in order for that to work, we have to use a little bit more. Not a bunch, just a little bit more. The real key is that you get it started. And if you're using air, the same thing could be said true. I knew guys that would have a bowl that was about yay tall, and it would be full of the grip solvent, and they'd virtually dip that thing in the top, in the mouth of it in there to get it slickery, and then start putting the air to it so it would slide on. If you're using air, I would suggest doing that. If you are not, then I would suggest using I would suggest putting a little bit more on it and letting it slide, and really get yourself concerned about the first 2 or 3 inches of getting onto the shaft and then sliding it right through. Don't stop. Typo R, what are you doing, man? Well done. Give the new grips a rip soon. More re-grips coming your way. First full set, 95 Triumph Storm. Get out of here. That will be cool. That will be very, very cool to see. I know those things. That's nice. Well, good. Good. Mark Hillier, support staff. First time here, custom fitter, repair, etc. 21 years, Newfoundland, Canada. See, I said it right, hopefully. Newfoundland, Canada. Well done. 21 years. That is super cool. Are you by yourself or are you with a group? It'd be neat to hear. You know, we're all about trading secrets and trading ideas or whatever. I mean, if we can do that, that's pretty cool. Glad to hear it. Glad to see it. And welcome. Mrs. McGolf has been busy saying hello. There he goes. Yes, he did. Brother-in-law was just talking about 70. I thought he ate something like 100 somewhere else. Maybe that I was just looking at it as a different hot dog. But, dude, I don't, where does a person put all that? I'm down with hot dogs. I mean, I like them. My dad made them for a living, so, hey, it's all good. But, dang, that's a lot of hot dogs, right? It's a lot of hot dogs. And normally there's a Vietnamese lady that does the ladies, and she's like the female Joey Chestnut and just slaughters the rest of the clan. And I don't know how much she's putting away, but she does a pretty good job. Danny, how are you, sir? South Carolina. Hopefully you're not as sticky and nasty as it is up here right now. Type R. Use the apron for some grilling. That's what right there, man. That's what I cooked the brisket with right there. So glad it worked. It shouldn't be too big, was it? I thought it should be pretty good size. Uh-oh. What'd Krister do? Sold my driver and ordered a Big Bertha Alpha. Ooh. Speeder stiff shaft, like small heads and short shafts. Well, that's, you know what, the old saying is, the trees are full of long drivers. And the way that you hit, you're probably going to like that. The Alpha, the Big Bertha Alpha was a monster, and the Speeder will fit. I think you'll like that. That's probably going to be a really, really good setup. All right. Oh, we'll have to see what that's all about. Let me get up in that far. I wonder how far you are from, how far are you from Toronto? I'm showing my ignorance on Canada, but I'd like to know where that's at. Jerry Smiley, how are you, sir? How's Texas? In the 80s this week, we'll be hitting the course with the new Mavericks. Ta-da! Good job, man. Good job. In the 80s. See that? You can, so even when it's this nice weather, you still get all that wind that Texas is known for? That'd be great. Hey, I landed a Mitchell signature bending machine here in Canada from a sports store. Wasn't using it. Dude, $300? And that's 300 Canadian. That's a heck of a deal, dude. That is, you'll never have to. The thing is with the signature models, you'll never have to buy another one. You just won't. I mean, I've got mine going on 25 plus years, and I could start using the little foot pegs that the iron's set on just now. So yeah, you'll be a great. I'm telling you, this stuff is going to go pretty good. Uh-oh. That's my sister, guys and gals of the McGolf world. And the burnt ends are amazing. She's a picky eater, so if that's a good thing, then we did all right. All right, self-induced chaos. Jim, have you ever assembled a Cobra amp cell? I have. I am in the process of assembling one and not sure where to set the adapter in the shaft. Normally in every adapter there is a neutral position. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. But I don't remember the amps ever being adjustable. I thought they were a fixed spot. But maybe there are some out there that are not. I don't know everything about all the Cobras, but Let's see. All right, well, let's assume there's adapter. Number one, there's typically a neutral position, like a big O or a dot or a logo or something like that, and that goes in the back, right? It goes in the back, down the spine, down the back of the club, very much like this. There, I got a good idea right here. So, you see that dot right there? Now, inside here, inside this ferrule or that adapter, are where all the adjustments are. So if you wanted it to be upright or lower or more loft or whatever, then it would always introduce itself back here. Everything is made so that it inserts on the back side of the club. All right, and we guys in Callaway have always made that assumption that wherever there's two lines, the line on the adapter, a line on the head. And if you had the line on the adapter, it wouldn't matter where you put it. That's what's going to be set. It just looks stupid because you've turned the shaft. So anyway, I hope that's what you're talking about. I'm going to have to look up this Targa, see what it's all about. Hey, Jim, do they make leather grips like the one on the Wilson 8802s? Yes, they do. Master Grip. All right, Master Grip, and they actually use, some of them say a kangaroo leather, some of them don't. There was another set of grips. I made a set of leather grips for a gentleman in South Carolina, and I believe that same company made a putter grip. Now, the 8802 is a very, very small leather grip, and I think in some cases they're even round. Okay, so you might just get yourself a standard size grip and leather grip, and you'd probably be good to go. Other guys I've known now in the past, if you can find yourself a leather guy, which is very far and few between anymore, a guy that does belts and shoes and saddles and that kind of thing. Normally those things are little strips that they have to make it soft so that it'll actually wrap, and they do some treatment to it. But if you can take your other one off and be very, very careful, you can lay it out as a pattern, because the thing that's very, very important about that is at the end, at both ends, there's an angle from the flat, and that's what gets you started in that roll that goes down. That's the most important part, right? But I mean, if you really, really want to go original, but I would look at that. But there, look at GolfWorks. There is a leather grip up there. It is extraordinarily nice. I would recommend it highly, and see if they don't have a putter grip. And if it's a round one, just get the regular grip and put it on there. You will not be sorry. Getting to know the sound of JB's voice. I can hear him. Yeah, JB. I like him. He's just a good soul. I can hear him talking when I'm looking around at the app. Nearly finished level 2. So good. I've even sent Francesca an app change suggestions. Good. You know, that's such a good group. So what we're talking about here, David got a Capto unit. And Capto, I happen to have mine. Capto is a unit that comes in this guy, but what does it look like? Looks like this. All right. It's a gizmo that you put on a putter. And the information this thing gives you from a putting perspective is enormous. Right? It's absolutely enormous. And it talks, the standard stuff that you see everywhere else. However, there are some things in there that other high-level machines that you can see, Sand Putt Lab, can't see that because it's attached. Well, I guess they could, because there is one attached. But it talks about that. And there's some really good stuff to be found in there. You can totally you never would think about it in a million years, but you can be totally overwhelmed by the information this thing puts out for a putt, right? For a putt. That is crazy. And so it's really informational, the stuff that you can learn from that. And so what I like doing is we'll do between 5 and 10 putts depending on the person. Sometimes the person is just, you can tell they're a good putter. You get 4 or 5 putts and you're in, and what you're looking for is an average. And look for the outlier, right? You look for the outlier, and that will tell you that's the miss, right? The outlier is the miss. And then you can kind of gear yourself towards that, going from that miss to where they normally are. And you can really see some improvement. It's just nutty. But it's a good piece. So if you guys are fitters and you're looking to really up your game in putting, Capto. And it's not over the top expensive either. I have no affiliation with them other than I bought one and I went through the training myself, but I wholeheartedly support them. Give me a nod if you decide you're going to go buy one. Tell them Jim sent you. It's not going to get you anything, but it would be nice to know that we're out there supporting each other. All right. Do you have a shaft puller to remove shaft adapter Titleist? Is there a cheap man's way to remove the adapter for reuse? Yeah. So, again, I'm going to send you to GolfWorks. GolfWorks has a kit, and it's a kit of four or 5 set screws and a washer. And you might be able to do this at the house. If you can find the right screw, because it's a machine thread, and get it so that it runs in there and it doesn't damage the screw or the threads, because your adapter is aluminum, right? And the piece you're going to put in there is steel. So the aluminum adapter is going to lose if you force it. Do not, right? And then what it is that, we use this. All right, so let's say this is the screw, and then there's the washer. And then what you do is you screw this piece into the adapter, and then this sits in there, and the shaft puller pulls it out, and it just pulls it straight out. And it's all of, I don't know, $5, $7. I've ordered 2 now, the original one and another one just as a backup. And that's the only way I'm pulling adapters anymore. It's just too easy. I mean, it is just too easy. All right. Canceled a few years ago. Uh-oh. Well, maybe I won't look up Targa. 2 feet from the 18th hole with my approach shot to shoot even par. Then my alarm on my watch went off at 5:25. Woke up from my nap, went on the computer. Oh, Paul, I thought maybe all that surgery, he put some sort of new secret sauce in there and he had you taken care of. Good job. Well done. Oh, well done. Well, when you get ready, buddy, the D9s work. They really, really do. And it would be a slight upgrade from where you're at. And with some new shafts, I think we're in. But good job, dude. That was funny. John James, we love wind. Dude, you guys got my respect. We're making that happen because you guys can get through that wind. And that was what to this day I'll never forget. And I know it's a common response. We were playing Kingsbarns, and I asked the caddy, I said, well, what do we need? He says, whatever you need to get there. And I'm like, oh my God. And he was right, because if you've got 2 clubs into it, it's funny to not get it. Oh, and it was really good. So yeah, it was fun. Okay, let's see what else we got. Average wind in Newfoundland is 45. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Market doesn't make it hard for golf. It makes it interesting for golf. Makes it challenging. That's what we're looking at. Challenging. There's Al from the Space Coast. How you doing, buddy? Big Al, you are not lying. My little story about that is we were at the Galway Country Club in Ireland, and 3 holes go under the street and go right onto the water. And it was windy. It was really windy. And I had a par 4 going with the wind, and I think I may have hit 2 irons. And it was a pretty challenging par 4. 2 irons to get the distance it would be normally a very good drive and a fairly decent iron. And then I walked up to the par 3, and I guarantee you I took out a 3-wood just to get that distance. And it was everything I had to put it on that fringe. It was crazy. And then came back. But yeah, and the only thing I don't like is the gorse over there. That I threw one up, and I had one stick about 6 inches above the ground. Like, how do you hit out of that? And but yeah, oh yeah, got deep respect for guys that can get through that stuff. Okay, let's see. Christopher, anything to take into account as far as flex and restarting bore through due to much tip being eaten up? Well, if you're talking about like a Titleist, the Callaway's not so bad, right? There is some taken up, but it's not so bad. I wouldn't necessarily go to great lengths to worry about it there. However, if you're doing a Titleist, then yeah. So what we used to do is we would get some very tip flexible shafts, and we would install them, and they would end up playing tip stiff because, as you see, right, it's all ate up, right? Now, if you get a guy that's a gorilla-like and he likes it as stiff as he wants, put the same shaft in it and let him go, and because he's going to swing hard no matter what, so it's not going to help. But yeah, we used to take in the day, like the shafts that are behind me, we used to take the UST XLs. And the XL was not extra light. I think it was extra long. And they had an extra section of tip. And we would put them in, and they would actually play like the Pro Forces, the purple and golds. That's how much of dramatic change that was. Now, can you do that in today's environment with a lot of the aftermarket stuff? Probably not. But what I would do, I would not take a flex off. So if you're looking for stiff and you put a regular in there, I would not do that because it's all about profile. But I would look at something with, if you can find where, if you have something that the shaft you want has a 4-inch tip section, if you find something that's equivalent with a 6-inch tip section, that's what I would put in it. That's the difference. Camilio, how are you, sir? Well, it seems that apparently the heat has gotten to my family. They don't feel like being human pot roast anymore, and they've moved inside to where it's cool. Good for me later on. Stefan, how are you, sir? From wet Manchester? Well, it was just sunny up in the Ireland. Apparently, that's way far away. Singu component shortage is U.S. Crazy time in UK, even for stock builds. And you're right. The right now, I will say Callaway is caught right back up. They're in the thick of things. Srixon has caught up. They are now back into the thick of things. Even Wilson has caught up. They're in the thick of things. And it pains me to say this, but the guys that are sucking it in last place is Mizuno. They just cannot, for some reason, figure out how to get caught up. And I don't know if it's shortages or whatever it is. Now, what I've also heard is that it may not necessarily be the heads now, because we had the container that fell into the ocean, right, for grips. It's the shafts. I'm hearing there are some companies that are projecting 2022 now, and I've heard Nippon has been telling their people it's been about a month. I will let you on a secret for all those club makers out there. If you're holding back for Nippon and you can't get a taper tip, ask your distributor for parallel and just ream it out and do the best you can with frequency matching. It's a better setup anyway, and because there's plenty of those. We've been doing it for the last month. That is an outstanding pro tip, and I would say that's what you want to do. All right, let's get down here a little bit further. Camilio's got a question. Kick point of the shaft. High kick point shafts are for more aggressive swings. The Demona actually felt hard as An even flow TX1100 X Flex. Yeah, well, keep in mind, Camilio, the Diamante White is for a guy that is truly aggressive. That is a board. They don't call it the white board for nothing because it is a board. It started as a blue board for average swing, red board. They said for slightly aggressive. I don't think so. And then the white board were for guys that were just animals. Okay, and that's what that was for. Uh-oh, I'm getting the nut. But that's what that is. Okay. I don't know where your fork is. Wherever you left it last. Rini Aguilera. I had read some good news today on Wishon's website while responding to a comment under the 575's Iron page. He mentioned that an upgrade to them was coming in. Ooh, well, if that is true, that should be a very, very good club because he does not he does not make changes unless he can actually make improvements. That'll be something to see. Hopefully, I see a left-handed piece of it and we'll be good to go. All right, Nicholas Lewin. What do we got here, bud? Can you talk about ferrules on graphite shafts? When my husband and I pushed put ferrules on my clubs, I was worried that we messed up the shafts because the ferrules were not completely aligned. I don't know. All right, so ferrules going on graphite shafts is no different than ferrules that go on steel shafts, unless the heads have shoulders and you have shouldered hosels, shouldered hosels, right? So inside the hosel itself, there's an extra shelf, right? And if you don't clean that shelf out prior to putting that stuff back on, it can cause it to caulk or not seat completely. That's always a possibility. Sometimes what happens is you get a little bit of extra. If it doesn't, sometimes there's a little extra glue that gets underneath of it. Still, I don't see that being a problem. As long as you've treated the inside of the hosel so it doesn't create a shear point, you should be good to go. Let me tell you, I was able to get a Project X hybrid shaft, the ones that come in the Callaway XRs. Pretty firm and it works perfect for a driving iron. Well, there you go. Good job. Jim, the standard back weight on the TaylorMade Sim Max Generation 1, what would be the advantage of changing the weight to higher or lower, or leave it standard? Standard weight on the back of the Sim. Now, if you're talking the back of we're talking about the back of the head, right? So if you were to, and it's all about tricking the center of gravity. We'll use the PXG again. If you take this guy, let's see if I can get, there we go. If you take that guy and you make it lighter, it forces the weight that way by design. All right, and if it's enough weight, the flight goes down. It has to be enough weight. If this is only about a 3-gram weight, you're not going to change a lot other than the feel that you might reduce a little bit of spin. I could get that. Now, if you put a lot, if you increase this, you're pulling it back, which means that you're pulling the center of gravity back further, which means that the launch goes a little bit higher. Now, in some cases, and we'll say some, it can, again, impact it. I mean, if you're looking for just tweaks, right? All these weight things are just tweaks. I would not do much more than that. All right. Newmarket, UK. Andy, thanks for joining us. I know it's late over there. Jeez, thank you. Stuck in our hangar, changing a nose strut today. Jason now is on the course with his new clubs he picked up. He also forgot some business cards. Can I get you to send me some? Not a problem, Joe. You be safe, man. Don't get caught underneath that damn thing. And thanks for Joe's the reason why I got these guys. His golf course that he brought me to is the reason why I got those. They're very, very cool, by the way. Golfer Man Jim. Hey, there's a guy I can get behind. Jim, have you any privy on any possibilities of a new MP line from Mizuno? Yes, they are coming out. That's what's coming out new. So they're going to be MP22s. and they follow the year. So you're going to see new blades, new MCC4s, and a new HMB. That is, at least if they follow the trend. Have they shown me anything? No, that's just me seeing. That's just me following what the company does. I'm hoping that I've gotten onto the radar with this YouTube channel and the fact that I'm actually a dealer for them, that they might, allow me to look at them. And again, chances are that maybe the blade will come out in an SEL. Hopefully they see fit to take I think they would do very, very well with the HMB in left-handed, and not necessarily the blade. That's just a small percentage move right there. Alrighty. I am 5 minutes over, guys, and Mrs. McGolf and my sisters are here, my sister is here, so we got to get this done. I got three more questions, and then we're out. Big Al. There is a club down the road from me. Tiger Woods has the course record, the European club, on par if he hit a driver 6-iron to get to the green in the wind. I have no doubt, and if Tiger Woods is that guy, I still have no doubt. All right, Jesse Greenlee, how are you? I've been looking at new putter shafts, like the stability from True Temper. It's heavier, but could just add weight to the butt section to achieve the same thing. There's a little bit more than the stability. There's a little bit more to it than that, Jesse. But can you add weight to stabilize your putt? Yes, we've been doing it for years, and you get away with it, and that's pretty much a lot of what they're doing. However, the shaft does make sense, but there's a lot to changing out the shaft. You would just be, go get you a Tour Lock or a Balance Certified, throw it in the back, and just see. Alrighty. Daniel Roach. Called Callaway again, and my DC pads won't ship till the end of August. What? Something's not right. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. Because they're really actually way better than that. I mean, they really were. Friend got fitted for a Sim 2 driver, was told today would be October. Oh my goodness. I see this one. Yep. First Eagle, way to go, dude. Good job. Hey, McClellan. Guy McClellan, what do you say, bud? Does achieving swing weight with a lighter grip affect ball flight? No. And again, I hate getting onto my I hate getting on my soapbox. Honestly, worry more about the total weight than the swing weight. If you pick it up and not know it with a standard grip and it feels good, then you're okay, right? Swing weight is a thing that it is, as much as I hate to say it, it's an archaic number, but it's one that can actually be measured extraordinarily well. And that's the reason why people see that, and that's the reason why you see that out there. However, total weight is far more important. All right, so, but back to your question, no. Well, it might, because you've unbalanced the club. All right, Chris, I was waiting to see what the stack and tilt did for you, buddy. Let's see. Ditch the stack and tilt after 9 holes. You the man. All right, tried the Alaska hip move, took a minute to figure it out, but once started working impact and did the steps in reverse. There you go, dude. I am here to tell you the man is on to something. Well done. Good job. All right, last one. What do you think of installing Project X gap through the 8 and flighted 5-7 through the 4? Let me think about this for a moment. 4 through the 7 with flighted. So 4 through the 6, I think it is. 4 through the 6, you'll have the lower bend point, so you get it up high. And the 7 will pretty much be the same thing as putting them into the 8. So your 4, 5, and 6 will get up in the air, and then the rest of your stuff will feel pretty much about the same. So yeah, you should be good to go. Look at that, got all the way down to the bottom. Guys and gals, thank you so very much. Happy 4th of July for those of you in the States. For those of you in UK, Ireland, Sweden, and every other place that you've been coming from, again, thank you. I appreciate the fact that you get on and you ask questions. It actually helps me with making content and understanding what people are looking for, so I do appreciate it. And again, guys, be careful on the holidays, enjoy yourself, and let your scores go low.